Welcome to the Daily Energize Podcast, where you'll get a jolt of energy and a quick tip to help you conquer your day. Now here's your host, the Prince of Positivity himself, Spencer Jones.
What's happening, Energizer? Thank you for hopping in and joining me today in this episode. It is I, Spencer Jones, the Prince of Positivity, joining you as always in these Daily Energize podcasts. Thank you for hopping in, joining me, and thanks for coming back after yesterday's episode when I'm just sharing a random story about weight and obsession. So if you didn't check out that episode, feel free. I kind of ramble a little bit, but had some fun, and hopefully it was a beneficial story. Hopefully there was a lesson there that can help you in your life, in your journey. Well, today's episode is all about love languages. Love languages. Now, it can't be romantic love in this case that where it's going, but it doesn't have to be, because love languages are so much more than that, than just the romantic side of it. And maybe you know what they are already. If you do, awesome. And if you don't, that's okay. You don't have to know about it yet, because I'm going to share a little bit about it and what they do, what they're all about, and how you can use them to really help you live your life to the max. So I heard about the concept or the idea of love languages probably, how long has it been now? 5-6 years ago, something like that. I think it was around like 5 years ago I heard about it. And I started to look at it for me and what love languages I have. But first and foremost, what are love languages? Let's just dig into that so we could talk about it. Well, the love languages, it's a book called the five love languages, right? It's a book, and there's actually been many books written about it now. There's one main one, I believe. And why they are important, why they matter. It's basically how you express your love, your emotions, right, for others, if that makes sense, right? So the 5 love languages, how you express your heartfelt commitment, right? So your joy, how you receive joy, and how you share joy with and love with others. Now remember, love doesn't have to be romantic love. It could be friendship, it could be kindness. Remember a couple days ago in the Daily Energize podcast when we talked about doing acts of kindness? Well, that's one way of one of your love languages, showing that you care, showing love out to the world, and also receiving it. So, okay, here's an example, right? For me, there's 5 love languages. Let me share what they are first, and then I'll share what mine are. So one is acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, and receiving gifts. So those are the 5 love languages. Those are ways that we receive love. And what's interesting is we don't do all of them. I mean, we don't receive them all the same equally. Let me say it that way. We don't receive all of those love languages equally. We have one dominant and a secondary one, and maybe a little bit of the others. But for the most part, we have one dominant, one secondary love language. And everybody's different. So for a long time, one of my love languages is physical touch, right? I just like someone touching me or like holding me, cuddling, things like that. So for Katie and I, right, I would rub her shoulders, I would hold her hand, I would do things like that. And if I didn't do it, and if I didn't initiate it, let me say that, if I didn't initiate it, and then she didn't, I would start to feel disconnected, right? I would feel like we don't love each other as much, which isn't the case at all. It just, I didn't feel like we were because I wasn't receiving love in my love language. But here's the thing. When I learned about this, and I did it for myself at first, and then I offered it to Katie to see what her love language is, we realized that one of her top ones is receiving gifts. So receiving gifts. So she likes, and not necessarily like gifts as in, oh, here's a present, here's a present. Sometimes it's just a little note that says, hey, I see you, I appreciate you. So the exercise we did a couple days ago, when you're saying to someone, hey, I appreciate you, just the way you are, I saw you did this, that was amazing. That's receiving. It could be words of affirmation, and it could be receiving gifts, right? The 2 of those. So now that person might receive it, and it might not be their love language. Now, if I see those things and it's not my love language, I receive it, and it's not my primary or secondary love language, I still feel it, I still appreciate it, but it doesn't quite hit as deep. But if it is my love language, it hits me deeper, if that makes sense. So when you do those cards, it's a hit or miss, but at least you're spreading positivity and joy into the world and not taking anything away. You're only putting out the positives. So Katie's, one of her top love languages is receiving gifts, so little notes and things. So it made sense to me, like when I randomly stopped out and delivered coffee her way, or had a little note at home, or a little stuffed animal, or just little random things, not necessarily for birthdays or holidays, but just random. I saw her light up those times, and it never clicked until we did this. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That's why she would get me random gifts and send me cards. It wasn't my primary love language, so it didn't click as deep as like physical touch does. And it still doesn't for me, but now I recognize when she does it. And now that I know what hers is, and she knows what mine is, we are intentional about trying to show love and appreciation for the other person in their love language. So now not only do we get to become aware of how we receive love, we can intentionally show love to others in their love language. Now it's tricky, right? As I said, this doesn't just have to be romantic love for you and your partner or spouse, whoever that is in your life. It can be for your kids. It could be to your coworkers, to your boss, to everyone and anyone. Right? Because remember, love doesn't have to be romantic love. It could just still be friendship, the positive, loving energy. So how does that other person receive love? Now, we might not know. We could ask them, and maybe they know what it is, or they can look at it and see. But usually, unless we are aware of it, we give love to others. We show appreciation for others in the way that we like to receive it. Right? I like that touch, so I would show ways of that. So words of affirmations are one of mine as well. So I would tell people words of affirmation. Physical touch is first, words of affirmation second for me. So I would show people that I appreciate them through those words of affirmation. But maybe that's not how they receive it. Maybe they receive it through receiving gifts. No, they still appreciate what I'm saying, but it doesn't hit as deep. So if we can observe how other people show love, kindness to others, what's their usual ways of doing it, we probably have a good guess of what their love language is, and then we could start showing them love, that kindness, the positive energy in their way of receiving it the most. So they can receive it the most ways possible. It's something interesting. It was really cool to do this with Katie and I. And then when I was talking with my brother-in-law, and he was sharing how he started doing this with his wife, the changes that it made in their relationship. But I've seen this work really well, not only within marriages, but with kids, with friends, coworkers. When you just start to understand how people receive appreciation fully, and then you start intentionally doing it in a way they understand and receive, it's a game changer. So I invite you to check it out. It's called The 5 Love Languages. There's so many surveys you could do online that are free, some you could pay for. There's books on it, there's podcasts about it. There's so much information about the 5 love languages to just Google it, find the things that work best for you, and learn about yourself, and then learn about other people. And then you could really allow them to accept and feel that love and light that you're sharing with them when you intentionally offer it to them in their love language. All right, that's all I got for today. Thank you for hopping in, joining me. I appreciate you because you are amazing, worthy, and enough. So until next time, keep shining bright, and I will catch you later.
Yeah.